Good morning. This video, we are going to discuss about measures of mortality and morbidity. What is mortality? Mortality refers to the incidence of deaths or the number of deaths in a given time period or the proportion of deaths in relation to a population. At the same time, the mortality rates are generally expressed as the number of deaths per thousand individuals per year. And these are the measures of mortality usually we used to study. So first, crude death rate. There is the simplest method in measures of death rate or mortality rate. Number of deaths which occurred in the population of given area during a year is divided by median total population of the given area during the same year is multiplied by the constant 1000. This is what crude death rate formula. Next, age-specific death rate. In age-specific death rate, the number of deaths in the specific age group is divided by median total population of the same age group is multiplied by 1000. This is the formula for age-specific death rate. To calculate sex-specific death rate, for male and female separately, we have a formula like number of male deaths divided by median total population of males is multiplied by 1000. At the same time, for female death rate, number of female deaths divided by median total population of females and multiplied by 1000. So this is what the formula for sex-specific death rate. Standardized death rate. A rate which differs from a crude rate is having been standardized to different population to remove the influence of some extraneous variables such as age. Second, standardization is nothing more than obtaining a weighted average. The weighting is derived from a standard population. The two forms of standardization are commonly used is direct and indirect method. Adjustment is another term used for standardization. So direct method. For direct method, it requires age-specific rates for the sample, age structure of a standard population, which yield a summary figure like age-adjusted rate. At the same time, the indirect method requires age structure of the sample population at risk, total cases in the sample population, not ages of cases, then age-specific rates for a standard population, which yields a summary figure like a standardized mortality ratio, standardized mortality ratio. The indirect method is done when age-specific death rates are not known in the population whose crude death rate is to be adjusted. That indirect method uses standard rates and applies them to the unknown age groups in the population to be standardized. The method has following steps. First, index death rate we need to calculate. That is, local population is multiplied by the age specific death rate of a standard population divided by the again local population. That is what we call it is the index death rate. Second step, we need to calculate crude death rate for standard population. That is total deaths divided by total population multiplied by 1000 for standard population. Then correction factor. Third step, we calculate correction factor, that is CDR. Crude death rate of standard population is divided by index death rate of local population. Fourth step, the standardized death rate of local population is equal to crude death rate of local population multiplied by correction factor. The computation of the standardized death rate by adjusting the crude death rate in this manner is called indirect standardized of specific death rates. In general, the indirect method leads to almost the same value for the standardized death rate as the direct method would. Comparing crude and age adjusted rates. If crude rates decreases after adjustment, the study population is older than the standard population. If crude rate increases after adjustment, the study population is younger than the standard population. Next, case fatality rate. It is the ratio of deaths due to a particular disease in a certain period to the number of cases of the same disease reported during the same period. That is multiplied with the constant 1000. This is what the formula for case fatality rate. Cause of death rate. Here, the formula, the total number of deaths from specific cause occurring in the given period in the given community is divided by total population of the given community in the given period is multiplied by 100,000. This is what the formula for cause of death rate. Maternal mortality rate. It is defined as the number of deaths assigned to puerperal cause, that is, those related to childbearing in a calendar year divided by the number of live births in the year. This also multiplied with 100,000. That is what maternal mortality rate formula. Next, perinatal mortality rate. Perinatal, it includes fetal deaths after 28 weeks of gestation, then deaths during labor time, and deaths within 7 days of neonatal life. So the formula for perinatal mortality rate is late fetal deaths after 28 weeks plus deaths under 1 week is divided by total number of deliveries that includes live births plus stillbirths multiplied with 1000. This is the formula for perinatal mortality rate. Neonatal mortality rate, the number of deaths of infants under 28 days of age in given year per 1000 live births in the year. This is what we call it as a neonatal mortality rate. The formula, number of deaths under 28 days during a given year is divided by number of live births during the same year is multiplied by 1000. This is what the formula for neonatal mortality rate. Post-neonatal mortality rate, it defined as the number of deaths in 28 days of life up to 1 year divided by the number of live births multiplied with 1000. This is the formula for post-neonatal mortality rate. Infant mortality rate, the number of deaths to infants under 1 year of age in a given year per 1000 live births in that year. That is what infant mortality rate. Proportional mortality rate, it is the ratio of the number of deaths in a specific age or sex or region is divided by the total number of deaths in a year multiplied with 1000, sometimes 100 or 100,000. This is what proportional mortality rate. Morbidity. Next, we will see the morbidity. The morbidity means it refers to the state of being diseased or unhealthy within a population. It can be applied to individual or the population in the form of a morbidity rate. There is also comorbidity, which refers to two or more illness affecting an individual at the same time. That is what we call it as a comorbidity. Next, measurement of morbidity. To measure morbidity, we use morbidity incidence rate, morbidity prevalence rate, secondary attack rate, stillbirth rate. But the morbidity prevalence rate we have in two type, period prevalence and point prevalence. First, we will see morbidity incidence rate. To calculate morbidity incidence rate, total number of new cases of sickness in a calendar year is divided by total population of July 1st of that year is multiplied with 1000 or 100,000. This is what the formula for morbidity incidence rate. Next, morbidity prevalence rate for point prevalence. For point prevalence, number of new and old cases of sickness occurred at a particular point of time is divided by total population exposed to risk at the same point of time, multiplied by 100. This is what the formula for morbidity prevalence rate for point prevalence. For period prevalence, total number of new and old cases observed to exist during a specific period out of total population exposed to risk in the same period multiplied with 100. This is what the formula for morbidity prevalence rate for period prevalence. Next, the secondary attack rate. This rate measures the occurrence of a contagious disease among susceptible persons who have been expected to primary case and is defined by, for example, number of additional cases among contacts of primary case within the maximum incubation period out of total number of susceptible contacts multiplied by 100. This is the formula for secondary attack rate. Next, stillbirth rate. If fetal or stillbirth mortality rate is the number of resident fatal deaths in a specific geographic area divided by the number of resident live births plus fetal deaths for the same geographic area, and it is multiplied by 1000. This is what the formula for stillbirth rate. So up to this unit, vital statistics, fertility, mortality, and morbidity cases is over. Next week, we will see the new concept, hospital statistics. Thank you.